I used to work, before I came to Overproof, I worked for Diageo for 5 years, so I know the industry pretty well. I'm going to talk to you about what's going on in the on-prem business. So Overproof is a company that specializes in menus. We have two big things that we do. We acquire, we scrape, we get all the information from all the menus that are available in the US and several other countries, so we know what's going on. So don't think about what you're going to have to drink or eat for the dinner. Think about it, a database, and we have it. So about 2.5 years of that information. On top of that, we input that information into a tool that helps small brands grow to get better. And this means that even in this challenging environment that we just talked about, you can make sure that you're on trend and doing the right things to grow your business. So what I'm going to give you today is I'm going to give you a view of what's happened year over year in the menu in the on-prem business. And I think you all know that the on-prem business really is where you grow brands, where things happen. Eventually you become old and boring like me and just drink at home, but new people come into the category through the on-prem business, and that's the key thing here. So what I'm going to give you here is what's going on nationally and in New York City. I'm going to focus just on independent restaurants. If you guys want to know what's going on at Chili's or someplace like that, we can get you that information too. And I'm looking at April this year versus April last year. So this is a common trend line year over year. Any seasonality that happens in there, that people are switching menus, I've taken care of that, so don't worry about it. The other thing I'd tell you about this is to think about why these menus matter. Nationally, what we know is that most bars and restaurants change their menu twice a year, so once every 6 months. New York City, it's a little faster than that. So the important thing here is for you guys to think about how you can be on trend, how you can catch that trend, because if you miss the window to get the menu change, you've missed it for 6 months nationally, or you missed it for 4 months here in New York City. So here's some things that are happening that kind of surprised me when I look at this. So the margarita is by far still the most popular cocktail in America. This is one that everybody loves. And by the way, you can get it, we'll give you the information, you can get it, you don't have to snap pictures. But it's coming down from its high. Now, when you're on top, the only way you can go is down, but we're seeing some other cocktails start to take its place. So iced tea cocktails, mimosas, modern martinis, spritzes. So less sugary, more inventive, more different flavors going into this. This might also play into the trend of the daytime drinking, the brunch drinking coming into play. I probably would rather have a mimosa or a martini, modern martini, like a espresso cocktail first thing in the morning than I would rather have something else. When you look in New York City, it's a little different. Those iced tea drinks suddenly pop up again even further. But then you get some ones that are kind of surprised me, some twists on the classics of Mai Tais, Breezes, and Coladas. There's things that are becoming a little more popular. And the reason this matters for you guys to think about it is New York City is a trend-leading city. What happens here is eventually going to get out to Des Moines. And so we want to stay on top of these things. I've lived in Des Moines. I can make fun of Des Moines. That's okay. And so we want to make sure that you're thinking about what's coming up next and how you can take advantage of those trends. When you look at flavors, okay, we're seeing coffee and cherry go down, but some other flavors, some more interesting fruit flavors are popping up with blackberry, mango, and passion fruit, and smoky drinks. A great idea. And so again, we're scraping all these menus to find out what's going on, and these are the words that we are seeing. If you think about what brands are going on, for any of the small brands here in the room, this is a great trend, and it's a pretty consistent trend. The on-prem business, the menus are moving away from some of the legacy brands, and where the growth is coming is from the smaller brands. The on-prem business, particularly in the independent, are more open to trying new things and to bring new cocktails to new brands to their drinkers. So you see Tito's did go up, but a lot of the other classic ones, Malibu, Absolute, Bacardi going down. In New York City, little different, Absolute picked up there. Luxardo, and I think about that back to that cherry perspective of trying to get some different flavors into the cocktail, comes up in New York City. Aperol, Bacardi, Grey Goose went down. So they may be looking for things that have more character, more interesting flavors in the cocktails. Certainly when I'm in New York City, I see some great things. And so last two things I'll cover off with you, and then I'll get out of your hair, and then we'll open up to close and then some questions. I had two questions that people looked at. So what's going on with tariffs, and is it going to screw up anybody's menus? Is anything going to happen? And the answer is, when we look at the menus, we're not seeing anything with tariffs right now. The historic trends, if I thought, if I was worried about tariffs, I might take some of these spirit categories off my menu because I'm not sure if I could make my costs work. But we looked over the last 6 months, 12 months, the mix of Scotch, Mezcal, and Japanese whiskey is exactly the same as it was 6 months ago. So most restaurants are taking a wait-and-see approach to this. So yes, could this screw up your financials? Currently, it's not, and it's not impacting how people are changing their menu. And then the last thing I looked at was we took a look, and I thought this was really fascinating. We looked at the cocktail menus at the national or the international bar winning bars, and then James Beard and Michelin starred restaurants to see, okay, what are the really out there, the top of the line people doing? And what you see is, first off, they have cocktails that you've never heard of before that come up on the menu. So the mix of brand new things to more classic things is way weighted towards classic things. You also see old fashions, martinis, and Negronis still showing up on those menus a lot, disproportionately from what we see other places. And they're more likely to mix more stuff into it, some more modifiers to get the flair. So again, what shows up at James Beard, what shows up at the international bar winning bars, eventually comes down to the rest of us. And so this is an idea of what's coming up for you guys to think about. So what do you do with this? Well, the obvious answer is talk to us. We're happy to talk about what information we have and use this information. We want you to get ahead. If the environment is tough, let's make sure that you're armed for the best possible decisions. Like, know what trends or cocktails are coming. Make sure that you're on it, because you only get twice a year to make that change nationally. So make sure that you win that opportunity. All right, thank you all very much.